So I'm going to be making a quiche and I thought it'd be kind of fun. I've got some mushrooms and some onions and some different seasonings. I'm just going to make a basic onion and mushroom quiche, just a little veggie quiche for dinner. So right now I'll show you how I get started and how I put the quiche together. So the first thing I do is I melt up a couple of tablespoons of butter. And then I actually chop up a medium-sized onion. Just put all that in there. What you're going to do is cook it until it's translucent. And then I've got some mushrooms that I'm going to add at the same time. Now these mushrooms really just kind of have to get used up. And if you put them in the quiche whole, then you're going to, or uncooked, you can do that, but it's going to make your quiche a little bit more watery. So I try to kind of cook down my various vegetables, and if I've got anything I'm putting into the quiche other than bacon, and even that I make sure I have anything cooked up before it goes in the quiche. So all I'm doing is just kind of breaking these pieces up a little bit. You could put them through a chopper if you like, but this is fine for me. The whole goal is it just cooks kind of quickly and it gets everything kind of put together. And you'll see it's going to cook down to hardly anything, but I like to kind of get these as small as possible. And I will bring you back as soon as these are cooked down a little bit. So these are what it looks like when everything's kind of cooked down. I'm just going to set it aside and let it cool a little bit because we will be adding an egg mixture to it and I don't want the eggs to curdle. So we're just going to leave that be and I'll show you the next step. So the foundation to any quiche is really easy. It's basically just eggs, milk, cheese, and then whatever veggies or meat or whatever you're going to put in it. So recipe calls for 4 eggs. I always put in 5. Sometimes I put in 6. It really isn't going to make a whole lot of difference as far as when you're, putting together your quiche. But what I like to do is just give my eggs a stir. Just whip them up a little bit. And you can either use 2 cups of cream, or what I use is just 1 can of evaporated milk. So I just pour that in. And of course you can put any kind of seasonings in you like. If you want, thyme, basil, whatever. I pretty much just put in salt and pepper. It's really an easy, recipe. There's a lot of good flavor from the sauteed vegetables and from the cheese. So like I said, salt and pepper is pretty much all I ever put in it. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of garlic. But you're going to put in about 1/2 to 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt and pepper. And that's really all I'm going to do. Give it a good stir. And then at this point, my vegetables have come down in temperature a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and add those. Actually, I'm going to just add those directly to my pie tin. Yes, that's what I'll do. I've got a pie tin. Now I usually do a prepared pie crust. It's just easier, everything going on during the week. So I put in my veggies. Like so. And I did add a little bit of peppers that I had from last year's garden. These are those Adjavarsky and Jimmy Nardello peppers, and they're so sweet and they're so good. It's just unbelievable. So I'm gonna put those in. I add about 1 cup of cheese. Now you could do any kind of cheese you like. Swiss is kind of the favored flavor, but I'm not a huge fan of Swiss cheese in mine, so again, I really like Munster cheese. I kind of mix it with a sharp cheddar cheese, and I just put that right over the vegetables, like so. And then I just put my egg mixture right over the top, just like you're making a pie. It's very, very, very easy. And that's it. I probably will put a little bit of paprika and a little bit of pepper over the top of it. I'm just making sure that the cheese is in all of the quiche. Put a little bit of pepper. Like so. And a little bit of paprika. This is my paprika. I'm just gonna kind of put it over the top. It gives it a little bit of flavor and a little bit of color. It's a really pretty dish when you serve it, like so. Just want to make sure everything's covered. And then I'm just gonna pop it in a preheated oven at 425 for 15 minutes. And then I'm gonna bring the temperature down to between 350 to 375, and I'm gonna cook it another 30 minutes. Just check it. Usually it has to go about an hour total. So I'll bring you back after I check it after 15 minutes and drop the temperature, and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what the quiche looks like after 15 minutes at 425. So I'm actually gonna drop the temperature down to probably 350. I may have to cover the edges here in the next 20 minutes. They're already browning a little bit, but I'll bring you back as soon as it's done. I need to make sure I can have a knife come out clean from the middle of the quiche, and it's gonna be very good. As you can see, the quiche came out really nice. It's nice and fluffy. I cut a couple of pieces for dinner, and everything looks really good. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe.